save my soul. Tonight, we have a conference battle between two teams in very similar circumstances. It's the 16-8 Avon Orioles taking on your 14 and Tonight, we have a conference battle between two teams in very similar circumstances. It's the 16-8 Avon Orioles taking on your 14-9 Westfield Shamrocks. Good evening, folks. I'm Rowan Elbert, and it's a pleasure to be spending my Wednesday night with all of you. And we have a very important HCC battle tonight. Westfield third in the conference, and Avon is fifth. Pitching tonight for Westfield is Ty Anderson, who has a 1.58 ERA on the season, and he has pitched 2 straight complete games. And in his last start against HSC, he was 1 hit and 1 walk off of having a perfect game. So he will look to continue his dominance today. For Avon, it's sophomore Carter Beck, who has been really solid this season with a 2.80 ERA. But Beck has a 4.11 ERA in conference play this season, so that could be a problem for Avon. Now to score predictions. I'm really liking Westfield tonight. They are red hot, coming off a 3-0 win against Kokomo, and then a clean sweep of HSC before that. Beck, I think he's too inexperienced to deal with these Westfield hitters. I am taking Westfield here with a score of 4-1. I think Ty Anderson is going to have another great game, and tonight should be a fun game. We'll be right back with the opening pitch. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
now, if you would remain standing and sing along as we honor America with our national anthem.
And we are back with the opening pitch. Ty Anderson on the mound, 1.58 ERA. Ty Anderson, with the injuries of Jacob Culp coming into play with his back recently, Ty Anderson has really been the ace of this team, and he has really shown it with back-to-back complete game shutouts. And like I mentioned before, one hit and one walk away from a perfect game. I mean, you can't get any closer than that. I believe I actually jinxed him too. Going into the fourth inning, he gave up a walk and then a hit when I mentioned the perfect game. So I'm going to try not to do that tonight. In conference play, though, Ty Anderson with a 1.22 ERA. So he continues his dominance in conference play. Of course, he helped complete the sweep against HSE. He was incredible against HSC with 6 strikeouts, only giving up 1 hit and 1 walk. Another player I want to talk about is at catcher, Colin Lindsay. And Colin Lindsay, we talked about him being in a bit of a slump going into the HSC series. But now, in the past 2 games, he is 4 for 7 with a home run. Those are in his last 2 games. He was batting .226 going into the HSC series, and now he is batting .250. Nate Simpson on the batting leadoff for Avon. First pitch, Anderson. That one is swung on and fouled off. Simpson with a .343 average on the season with a home run too, but also something to note with his speed, 5 triples. I mean, that is crazy. 0-1 count. That one is going to be outside. 1-1 pitch coming. Tie on the 1-1. That ball is going to be fouled off yet again. 1-2 count. 1-2 pitch, Anderson, that one way outside and high. 2-2 count. Tie on the 2-2 pitch, that one outside yet again. 3-2 pitch coming. Even count. I mean, you could start the game off the right way with a strikeout here. 3-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He will get him for the first strikeout of the game. Now Miguel Correa Jr. First pitch. They're going to call that a ball. It looked like it was on the outside edge to me, and you could have gone either way with that call. 1-0 pitch. That one is going to be fouled off. But so far on the season, Correa, a junior, batting .280 with 7 doubles and 3 triples. I mean, he's having a pretty solid season so far. 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss on the off speed. Now a 1-2 count with 1 out. Tie on the 1-2. That one is going to be grounded to Ian Wilson at third base. The throw to first is in time. He got him out. The throw by Ian Wilson a bit short, but Matt Droslick able to scoop it up and make the grab. Griffin Shable, the DH, up to bat. Shable, so far on the season, is batting above 300, 328, and that is going to be a ball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. They're going to call that a strike. Wow. I thought that was a little bit too high, but, you know, I'll take it. 1-1 pitch coming. That ball's in fair territory. They're going to call it fouled off. And did it hit him? He's limping, too. I think the bat hit him possibly when he was taking the swing. It didn't look like the ball hit him, but now he's limping. And it appears the manager, Troy Droshi, is approaching Shable. Will Shable be able to go back out there is the question. It's not looking too good for him. But while we wait, I think it's worth noting that top of the 5th inning, we will be back with On This Day in Baseball History. We have some great ones for you today. Top of the 5th inning, remember. It looks like he could be good to go back out there. I think in that kind of situation, it depends on the speed of the swing, but it's one of those things where it takes a little bit of time to shake it off, and then you're ready to go. And it appears he is picking up his bat, and he is going to be good to go. He's taking some swings, tiny swings. And this gives Ty some perfect time to talk with Colin on the mound, possibly about what the 1-2 pitch is going to be. And the umpire is going to join the discussion. He dropped the bat and now he's limping off running. Maybe testing whether he can even run to first base if he were to make contact. You see, this is why I love baseball and commentating baseball too, is because of all the dead time like this where, I mean, obviously an unfortunate situation, but all the dead time of, it's a very controlled and very calm sport. But Shable is going to re-enter the batter's box on the 1-2 pitch. 2 outs, nobody on base. 1-2 pitch. Did he check his swing? No, he didn't. He kind of took like a quarter swing there. 2-2 count. 2 outs. Tie on the 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be grounded to Ian Wilson, and he will make the catch to end the half inning. Going into the bottom of the first, 0-0 ball game. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, bottom of the first inning. Connor Beck pitching for Avon. And we talked about Beck in the pregame, 2.80 ERA. He's been pretty solid throughout the year, but conference opponents have been the Achilles heel for him. Only an underclassman, so I will respect that, but still a 4.11 ERA, which in conference play, you need to be clutch, and he has not been clutch at all. But due up for Westfield is Braden Hibbler. And Braden Hibbler, talk about red hot. Not in the last game against Kokomo, he was 1 for 3. He was hit by a pitch. And Hibbler on the season with a 381 average with 13 RBIs and a 529 on base percentage. He has been arguably the best hitter on the team, but still without a home run on the season. He's been playing varsity since he was a freshman. Truly one of the staples of the team. Beck on the first pitch. That one is inside, right down the middle. 0-1 count. Maybe a little bit low, but still 0-1 count. Beck on the 0-1. Off speed is going to be hit into right field, and it is going to be fouled off. 0-2 count. Hibbler already behind, and Hibbler, he's been prone to be a very aggressive hitter, so maybe he just goes full on out the gates swinging at this pitch if it's a good pitch. And Hibbler will call time. He steps back in. 0-2 count, no outs, nobody on base. 0-2 pitch. That ball is going to be hit into right field. Going back, and it will be caught for the first out of the inning. Cade Tislow, the right fielder, making the catch. Now Eli Manbeck, the left fielder, is up to bat. Manbeck, after having a pretty questionable start to the season, he has slowly made his way up at the top of the batting order with a 385 batting average. I mean, he has been great in the past, really 10 games. He's been great. 1 out, nobody on base. First pitch, that one is going to be fouled off into right field territory, and that was absolutely smoked, too. Beck on the 0-1 pitch. That one is going to be fouled off yet again. And Manbeck, he is making some great contact, but unfortunately both have been fouled off. 0-2 count with 1 out. Beck on the 0-2, that one way outside and low, so 1-2 count. Manbeck will call time. And if you've been watching any of the broadcasts all season, you know that Eli Manbeck, the master of the bunt, he has been incredible with laying down perfect bunts. Off speed is going to, it looked like it dropped in for a strike, but they're going to call it a ball. Now a 2-2 count, maybe a little bit too high, maybe a little bit on the outside edge, but that looked like a pitch to me that should have been a strike, but I'll take it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Beck on the 2-2. That ball is going to be hit into fair territory. Actually will be fouled. That looked like it was going fair, but it swung fouled. I will mention, though, the weather today. Perfect for baseball. Clear skies, 70 degrees. I mean, it's perfect for baseball. 2-2 pitch for Beck. Off speed a little bit too high. 3-2 count. Three-two even count with 1 out. Beck on the 3-2. That one is going to be hit into fair territory. And the out at first will be made. That was hit right into right field. Now the catcher, Colin Lindsay, who I mentioned in the pregame, he has been red hot as of late. 4 for 7 in his last 2 games with a home run too. And I've said it before that Colin Lindsay, he is too good of a hitter to slump throughout the entire season. So it's good to see him making these changes. And speaking of, that is a fair ball that will land into right field for a single for Colin Lindsay on the first pitch of the at-bat. Now, Matt Droslik, the first baseman, he hit a home run in the HSC game, the away HSC game, and overall, he has been an RBI machine on the season with 14 RBIs. And Drew Law will be pinch running for Colin Lindsay despite Colin Lindsay being a great runner on the base paths. He is playing catcher. Pickoff attempt is not in time. But when you're playing catcher, you usually don't want him on the base paths. And I like that decision by Bunnell, keeping it conservative with Drew Law with a heavy lead off of first base. First pitch, that one is going to be hit well into center field. And the catch will not be made. It will land. And Droslik is going to go down for a double. Drew Law making his way home. Will he get there? Yes, he will. Matt Droslik, his 15th RBI on the season, an RBI double, and Westfield with an early 1-0 lead. Now Evan Russ up to bat. Evan Russ, I mean, this is a great situation with Droslik on second and then Russ batting. I mean, this is a great situation. Droslik with quite the lead off of second base. Beck on the first pitch. That one is going to be slightly outside, 1-0 count. Matt Droslik actually does have 1 stolen base on the season. Looking for number 2, possibly 1-0 pitch. That off speed is going to be crushed into right field. Evan Russ with a single. Matt Droslik making his way home. Did he get there? I don't think he did, unfortunately. I think he is going to be out. He ran over the catcher, Baltiera, but still did not make it to home in time. So 1-0 lead for Westfield. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, top of the second inning. Ty Anderson looking to continue on what's been a great day of work so far for him. And the second baseman, Austin Bell, is up to bat. Bell batting .333 with 5 RBIs on the season for Avon. First pitch, he's going to try and bunt. That is going to be a fair ball bunt. Ty, the throw to first, is in time. And if you are a Ty Anderson fan, that is great news because that keeps the pitch count low. One pitch into the inning and already an out. First pitch, that one is going to be a strike. It looked a little bit too high, but they will call it a strike. Dylan Hummel, the left fielder, is up to bat. 0-1 pitch with 1 out. That ball is going to be hit well into center field. Braden Hibbler and Caden Lindsay are going to go for it, but Caden Lindsay will be the one to make the catch for the second out of the inning. Now the first baseman, Wyatt Pennington, batting .277 with 3 triples, is up to bat. Pennington only a sophomore too. Ty on the first pitch. That one is going to be outside, 1-0 count. Nobody on base, 2 outs, 1-0 pitch coming. That looked a little bit outside to me again, 2-0 count. Ty, he has been perfect today so far. 2-0 pitch. That one is going to be hit well to Ian Wilson at third base. The throw to first is in time, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ty Anderson. Going into the bottom of the second, still a 1-0 Westfield lead. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, bottom of the second inning. Ty Anderson, after a 1-2-3 inning, it's going to be Carter Beck still out there after he gave up a hit and an earned run. Yep, tonight at the ballpark, WYSI night. So it's a night for the kids. WYSI is a rec league for kids under the age of 10, I believe. I could be wrong about that. But they have face painting. It's a cool night for the kids. Anyway, Beck not having the best of starts, which is compared to Ty Anderson, he has not been great at all. It's going to be Nick Alm up to bat. Nick Alm kind of struggling recently, only batting .200. Beck on the first pitch. That one is going to be in the middle. Strike one, 0-1 count. Nick Alm, he will look at a lot of pitches, but sometimes that can go against him, and sometimes it will work in his favor. 0-1 pitch. That one a little bit too high, 1-1 count. Beck on the 1-1. Off speed is going to land. Great movement on that pitch. 1-2 count. That ball had great movement. Looked like it was going outside, but it somehow lands in. That one will drop in, but it will be hit by the third base. The throw to first is in time. Tyler Gentry up to bat, the second baseman. Gentry batting .214 with 10 RBIs. So when he does get a hit, which the stats show aren't very often, he will make them count. First hit, first pitch. That one is going to be inside, 0-1 count. Beck on the 0-1. That one is going to hit him right on the leg. So Gentry is going to take a walk over to first base as he is hit by the pitch. Ian Wilson, the third baseman, up to bat. Ian Wilson with a new walk-up song, too, as he requested today. Gentry on first base, 1 out. Beck on the first pitch. That off-speed way too high. 1-0 count. Beck on the 1-0. That one, it looked like a strike to me, but they're not going to call a strike. 2-0 count. .2-0 pitch. That one is going to drop in that time. 2-1 count, even. .2-1 count with 1 out. Runner on first. He's going to take off to second base. Will that ball land? It will! Ian Wilson with a ball hit to right field. Gentry making his way to third base. He will stay there. And Ian Wilson will be safe at second base. A double for Ian Wilson. Now with 1 out, Caden Lindsay up to bat with 2 runners in scoring position. Great situation for Westfield, but for Avon, this game is slowly turning into a nightmare. First pitch, they're going to call that a strike, 0-1 count.
That wasn't your pitch. That's okay.
Caden Lindsay, he started off the season not being an everyday player, but now the sophomore Lindsay, an everyday player, batting .237 with 4 RBIs, 2 doubles. And a double here would be really nice. He's going to try and bunt. That ball is going to be in foul territory, but it did not hit the bat, so 1-1 count, I believe. Will he try to bunt again here? Yes, he will. Actually, no, he won't. And he will swing on and miss. 1-2 count. That was a very interesting movement there. He was going for a bunt, but then he fooled the pitcher, went back into a normal stance, but unfortunately swung on and missed on that pitch. 1-2 count with 1 out. A runner on second and third. And the off-speed is going to get him for strike 3. Now back to the top of the order, Braden Hibbler. 12 RBIs, actually 13 RBIs, looking for 14 and 15, which would tie Matt Drozlik for first in RBIs on the team. So I'm sure Braden, he seems like the type of guy when I've talked to him to care about the stats and the team, competitiveness. First pitch. That ball is going to be a wild pitch, but it will be picked up by the catcher, Altiera. 1-0 count. Back on the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss by Hibbler. And you can tell Hibbler, he wants that swing back by the body movements. He did a full-on spin after that. 1-1 pitch coming with 2 outs, a runner on second and a runner on third. Hibbler will call time. One pitch. That ball is going to be fouled off. 1-2 count.
We need you.
One-two pitch. That ball is going to be hit to third base. The throw to first is in time, and that is going to end the inning. Westfield, with 2 runners in scoring position, unfortunately unable to capitalize. We will be right back. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Ty Anderson, of course, still on the mound, having a perfect line so far. He has not given up a hit or a walk, so perfect line for Ty Anderson. 1-0 lead for Westfield. The right fielder, Cade Tislow, up to bat. Tislow batting .333 on the season. Ty on the first pitch. That ball is going to land in for a strike. 0-1 count. Ty on the 0-1 pitch. That ball is going to be hit fouled off. Drozlik will attempt to make a play at it, but he will not. 0-2 count. .02 pitch. Anderson swing and a miss. That will get him. Strikeout number 2 for Ty Anderson as he continues his perfect game so far. Cannon Vandiver, the third baseman, up to bat. Vandiver batting .263. He will call time. Ty on the first pitch. That one is going to be outside and low. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Did he swing at that? It looked like he did, so 1-1 count. I really don't get that decision by Vandiver to swing at that pitch. That was right by his leg. 1-1 pitch. That one is going to be fouled off. 1-2 count. One-two count with 1 out. And that will get him on the off-speed, low and away. Ty Anderson, now 2 outs in the inning. Strikeout number 3 for Ty. Now the catcher, Jerry Baltiera. That ball is going to be drilled into left field, and it will land for the first hit of the day for Avon. Jerry Baltiera. The catcher, Baltiera, batting .303 on the season so far, and he will be replaced on the base paths by Trey Thompson, who is, for some reason, not hitting today. Thompson hitting above 300, so I don't get the decision. But now back to the top of the order to Simpson. First pitch, that ball is going to be fouled off. Made good contact, I will say, though. Nate Simpson is 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out. Thompson on first, 0-1 count with 2 outs. Ty on the 0-1. That ball is going to be high and away, 1-1 count. The pickoff attempt is not in time. It will remain a 1-1 count with 2 outs. A runner on first, Trey Thompson. That ball is going to be outside, 2-1 even count. Ty on the 2-1 pitch. That one will be in the zone. Strike 2. Got him on the outside edge looking. Now Nate Simpson, the center fielder, looking to make something happen on the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Top of the third. 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be hit into center field, right to Caden Lindsay, and he will make the catch to end the half inning. Avon, although picking up their first hit of the game, they are unable to capitalize, and it remains a 1-0 ball game. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, 1-0 ball game, bottom of the third. Westfield, although a very tight game, they are looking to have the advantage so far. Carter Beck on the day so far, giving up 2 hits, an earned run, a hit by pitch, and only 1 strikeout. A very up and down day for Beck. Jerry Baltiera, the catcher for Avon, with the first hit of the day for Avon in the last half inning, and luckily, I mean, that is a very hard name to pronounce. Luckily, I have the pronunciation sheet right here. Eli Manbeck up to bat. He is 0 for 1 on the day. Manbeck in his last game against Kokomo went 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but he did walk twice. First pitch, off speed, is going to land perfectly in the zone. 0-1 count. Beck, 0-1 pitch coming. That one is going to be in the dirt. 1-1 count. That was in the grass, as a matter of fact, too. I mean, that was luckily nobody on base for Avon. One pitch, a swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Got him on the high fastball, and Manbeck, he bit on that fastball. 1-2 count, nobody out, nobody on base. 1-2 pitch. He made contact. They're going to call it foul. Still a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. That one will be fouled off. Still a 1-2 count. One-two pitch for Beck, and a swing and a miss. Eli Manbeck now 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. And Colin Lindsay only saw one pitch, and that was all he needed to deliver a single into right field in his last at-bat. Beck on the first pitch, and Lindsay tried to bunt, but he will miss 0-1 count. He tried to bunt there. I really don't get that decision with nobody on base, one out. I don't get it. He will try to bunt again. This time he will foul that one off. (0-2) count with one out, nobody on base. Beck on the 0-2, and Lindsay will take an actual swing at that, and he will foul that one off, so it will remain an 0-2 count. Beck on the 0-2, that one a little bit too high, 1-2 count. Beck on the 1-2, a swing and a miss on the low off speed. That is going to get Colin. For the second out of the inning, so Matt Droslik is up to bat. 1 for 1 with an RBI today. He drove in Drew Law. Matt Droslik was 0 for 1 and walked twice against Kokomo in his last game. That ball, it looked like a strike, but they are not going to call it a strike. So 1-0 count. Maybe a little bit too high, but that looked like a strike to me. But anyway, 1-0 count, 2 outs, nobody on base. 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss by Drozlik. 1-1 count. One pitch, that one way outside in the dirt. 2-1 count. We are now even. Beck 2-1. That one is fouled off. 2-2 count. An absolute rocket towards the fence. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Beck. That ball is going to be low. 3-2 count. Very crucial pitch coming. 3-2 with 2 outs. This could be an absolute statement for Beck, or Drozlik can keep the inning going for Westfield. 3-2 pitch, and Drozlik is going to take a walk to first base. The second walk of the day for Beck. Evan Russ is technically 1 for 1 on the day. He delivered on a single, but Matt Drozlik's attempt for home plate was unsuccessful. 1-0 count. Yeah, Matt Drozlik, if he would have stayed at third base, then possibly another run will be scored, but no time to look back on the past. 1-0 count. That ball is going to be outside. 2-0. Two-0 count with 2 outs. Drozlik on first base. Beck 2-0. That ball is going to be low and away. 3-0 count. Drozlik not taking much of a heavy leadoff of first base, and now a mound visit with Carter Beck and Jerry Beltiara. I think now would be a great time to mention top of the 5th inning on this day in baseball history. We've got some really interesting stories for you. 3-0 count, Evan Russ. Russ hitting .329 on the year, having quite the season. That ball is going to be high, and Evan Russ is going to take a walk to first base. 2 walks in a row for Beck. Now the DH, Nick Alm, up to bat. Nick Alm is 0 for 1 on the day so far, but he did have an RBI in the game Monday against Kokomo. And yet another mound visit, and Drozlik and Russ are going to talk about possibly their strategy on the base paths. Currently, Westfield up 1-0. Ty Anderson only giving up 1 hit so far on the day, but the run support has been there with 1 run coming in. I think Westfield is going to need a little bit more than that, but we will see. Nick Alm up to bat. something to note in the conference play, Nick Alm is batting .357 in conference play. I think that is definitely something to note in one of the most important conference games of the year. I mean, Westfield third in the conference, Avon fifth. That ball is going to be low and away, 1-0 count to begin the at-bat. And Westfield, they have made good work of their conference opponents coming off an HSC sweep. That ball is going to be hammered into center field, and the catch will be made to end the inning. Going into the top of the fourth, Westfield still on top 1-0. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, top of the fourth inning. Ty Anderson still out there. He is absolutely dealing. Ty Anderson on the day so far, pitching 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no walks, I should say, and only giving up 1 hit. Batting for Avon will be Miguel Correa Jr., playing shortstop, which reminds me of another MLB player, shortstop Carlos Correa. I'm sure he gets that comment all the time, comparing him to Carlos Correa. I mean, same last name, same position. That ball is going to drop in for a strike, 0-1 count. Correa is 0 for 1 on the day. That ball is going to be fouled off now, 0-2 count. I mean, Ty, other than the 1 hit, he's had pretty much a perfect game, keeping the pitch count relatively low. That ball is going to be high, 1-2 count. That ball is going to be hit in the center field. Caden Lindsay will make the catch for the first out of the inning. Griffin Shable up to bat, the DH. He is 0 for 1 on the day. He had a moment in his first at-bat where he was looking shaken up a bit. Ty on the first pitch, a swing and a miss, 0-1 count. I don't get the swing and miss there. I mean, that was an outside pitch. I mean, way off the outside edge, way off the plate, and he will swing on and miss yet again, 0-2 count. I made the call quicker than the umpire. He checked his swing, and here we are, 0-2 count with 1 out. That ball is going to be off of the glove of Colin Lindsay, so 1-2 count. Luckily, nobody on base, so no harm, no foul. 1-2 count with 1 out. Ty on the 1-2. That ball is going to be grounded straight to Braden Hibbler. The throw to first is in time. Now 2 away in the top of the fourth, with Austin Bell, the second baseman, who is 1 for 1 on the day. First pitch to Bell. That is going to hit him right on the shoulder, so he is going to take a walk to first base. And the one thing that I see commentators do and other people do in general, fans of the game, is whenever a batter is hit by a pitch, they automatically assume that it's intentional. And I don't get that, because most of the time, probably 9 times out of 10, There is no animosity, and it's usually just, the command not being there on that pitch. I mean, nothing personal. You take it like a champ and you move on, unless your name is Bryce Harper. First pitch, and he's going to take off to second base, and he will make it there easily. The ball was out of the glove of Hibbler, and he almost took off to third base, but luckily for Avon, he will stay at second because he would not have made it to third. Dylan Hommel, the left fielder, 0 for 1 on the day, 1-0 count. Heavy lead off of second. That ball is going to be hit into right field. Droslik going back, and Evan Russ is going to make the catch, and that is going to end the half inning. Going into the bottom of the fourth, still all Westfield. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Go back. And we are back, bottom of the fourth. Still Carter Beck pitching. Leading off for Westfield in the inning is going to be Tyler Gentry, who was hit by a pitch earlier. That was the first time of 2 times where batters on both teams were hit by pitches. Westfield on the season, 6-1 when they hit 2 or more doubles, and they have 1 double on the day, I believe. Ty Gentry 0 for 3 in the last game against Kokomo with 2 strikeouts, looking to bounce back in a big way. Beck on the first pitch. That ball is going to be low and outside, 1-0 count. Beck on the 1-0 pitch. A swing and a miss on the high fastball. I really don't get the swing and miss. That was definitely way too high, but 1-1 count. Beck on the 1-1. That is going to be inside, 1-2 count. One-two pitch. That is going to be called a ball, so a 2-2 count. Beck on the 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be hit to third base, and an error is made. And Gentry is going to make it to first base safely. And Avon, they have committed 3 or more errors in 7 games this season. Ian Wilson 1 for 1 on the day. That ball is going to be high, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. That one will be in the dirt. Pickoff attempt is not in time by the catcher. And Ty Gentry on the season when it comes to base running, he has a stolen base. Looking for number 2 possibly. I mean, he's looking aggressive. 2-0 count. Nobody out. Runner on first. That ball is going to be hit in the center field, going back, and it is going to be caught. So Gentry will stay at first base. Caden Lindsay up to bat. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today, possibly looking to turn around his luck. He has not been great in the past few games. He did pick up a hit last game against Kokomo on Monday night at Kokomo. But 1 out, Gentry on first. He's going to take off to second base. That ball in the dirt, and there was no chance of them even catching him. Great IQ play, great high IQ play by Tyler Gentry. And Westfield undefeated on the season when they steal 4 or more bags. One-0 pitch. That ball is going to be hit into right field. And that will be caught. Gentry will take off to third base, and he is going to make it there. So although 2 outs now, a runner on third. Now back to the top of the order, Braden Hibbler, 0 for 2 on the day, but still a guy that, in my opinion, is due for a hit at some point in the game. Braden Hibbler also might have the best walk-up song on the team, Welcome to the Jungle. Great hype song. 2 outs, Gentry on third, and that ball is going to be away, outside, 1-0 count. And you can tell Gentry, the look in his eyes, he is ready for whenever the moment Hibbler makes any kind of contact, he's going to take off, and that ball is going to land. Braden Hibbler with yet another RBI on the season. An RBI single for Braden Hibbler, and that is going to bring in Ty Gentry, a 2-0 lead for Westfield. Now Eli Manbeck 0 for 2 with a strikeout on the day with Hibbler on first. That gave Hibbler his 14th RBI on the season. And if it weren't for Matt Drozlik's, that was a pickoff attempt, by the way, not in time. If it weren't for Matt Drozlik's RBI earlier in the game, bringing in Drew Law, then they would be tied for the RBI lead on the team. That ball is going to be high, 1-0 count. No, Manbeck, he's got a great eye for the strike zone, especially as a senior. I mean, you kind of have to. He's been tasked pretty heavily recently. That ball is going to be high yet again. 2-0 count. Pickoff attempt is not in time. Baltiera, the catcher, a second pickoff attempt for him on the day, and both have been not in time. 2-0 count with 2 outs. Hibbler is going to take off, and are you kidding me? Will he make it to second base? He is safe! Braden Hibbler somehow makes it to second base after all of that. So Beck, he was prepared for a pickoff attempt. He makes the pickoff throw as Hibbler takes off to second base, but the throw is too late, and Hibbler is going to make it to second base. 2-0 count with 2 outs. I got to check the stolen base lead on that. That is going to land in for a strike. 2-1 even count with 2 outs. Hibbler now has the team lead for stolen bases with 13. Colin had 12 going into this game, and so did Hibbler, but Hibbler now in the team lead. Me and him were talking about that the other day, too. That ball is going to be fouled off, 2-2 count. I hope somebody does tell Braden about that because he will have a field day with that. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Hibbler is going to take off to third base. That is going to land in for a strike, I believe. It looked like a strike, but they're not going to call it. So a 3-2 count, and Hibbler made his way to third base. So add another stolen base to that count. Braden Hibbler with 2 stolen bases in this at-bat. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Pretty meaningful pitch coming, and Manbeck will call time, which I definitely agree with. I mean, this pitch has a lot riding on it because Colin Lindsay would be next up to bat, and you know, Colin Lindsay, he can definitely make stuff happen. 3-2 pitch. That ball is going to be low and away. Hibbler is going to go to home plate, and he will make it there. Braden Hibbler with 3 stolen bases in 1 at-bat as Manbeck is going to make it home first on a walk, but Hibbler will make it home. 3-0 ball game. Now Colin Lindsay, who is 1 for 2 with a strikeout on the day, is back up to bat. And a quick mound visit with Carter Beck. The question is, though, will Carter Beck be back out there after a pretty terrible, quite frankly, performance in this inning? And Avon with a team ERA of 2.36, and 3 pitchers have a sub-2 ERA on the team. Trey Stinnett, Matt Ryder, and Josh Heitert, I believe. I actually had that right the first time, Heitert. I should never doubt myself. Anyway, 2 outs. Colin Lindsay up to bat. Manbeck on first. 2 outs. That ball is going to be a wild pitch, and Manbeck is going to make his way to second base. The second wild pitch of the day for Carter Beck. One-zero count, 2 outs, a runner now in scoring position. That ball is going to be in the dirt. 2-0 count. Colin, I mean, in the past 2 games, he's completely flipped a switch where he's been able to see the strike zone very well, but also make really good contact as he does have a home run. 2-0 pitch. That one is going to be in for a strike. 2-1 count. Kind of on the edge there, but still 2-1 count. Two-one pitch coming, 2 outs. Manbeck on second base. A pickoff attempt. He will not even bother to make the pickoff attempt as Manbeck quickly made it back to second base. He did kind of like a pump fake. 2-1 count, 2 outs, a swing and a miss. He actually made it. Did he make contact on that? No, he didn't, but still, either way, 2-2 count. Definitely didn't make contact. Actually, now that I think about it, as the catcher making the grab, but still That was kind of close. Anyway, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. And they swing and they miss, and that is going to get Lindsay out to end the half inning and end the inning, actually. So going into the top of the 5th, Westfield are on top, dominating 3-0 lead. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, top of the 5th inning. Ty Anderson on the mound still, of course. I mean, he's dealing today, as always. We call it around the clubhouse. They call it a Ty shove day, and he's been shoving. Now to on this day in baseball history. In 1970, the legendary Hank Aaron getting his 3,000th career hit on a home run in a 7-6 loss to the Reds. That was his 570th home run as well. And that is the common debate, is who has the home run record? Is it Hank Aaron or is it Barry Bonds? I mean, Barry Bonds technically does have it, but I think we all know why Bonds is not considered the true home run king. In 1939, you'll find this one interesting. The first baseball game ever televised happened between Princeton and Columbia, I believe 2 Ivy League schools. Bill Stern called the game, and the next day the New York Times did an article about it. They said they do not expect baseball to catch the public's attention. Now here we are, like, I can't do the math off the top of my head, almost 90 years later, and I'm still here in the booth commentating a game for you. There will be more where that came from with on this day in baseball history throughout the 5th inning. It's going to be Wyatt Pennington up to bat. He is 0 for 1 on the day. And Pennington, despite only being a sophomore, batting .277, pretty good for a sophomore. I will give him credit where credit is due. That one is going to be in the dirt, 1-0 count. Ty on the 1-0. That ball is going to be fouled off. 1-1 count. And to go over the stat line for Ty Anderson, I mean, he's been great today with 5 innings pitched total, 3 strikeouts, only a hit by pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled off. 1-2 count. And Ty, coming into this game, 2 straight complete game shutouts, trying to make it a 3rd in a row. 1-2 count. The off speed is going to be a little bit too high. 2-2 count. Ty on the 2-2. That ball is going to be grounded straight to Gentry. The throw to first is in time, and that will retire 1 batter. Now up to bat is the right fielder, Cade Tislow, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Ty on the first pitch, a swing and a miss. He got him, 0-1 count. Now, to continue the on this day in baseball history, in 1979, the Phillies defeating the Cubs 23-22 in 10 innings. I mean, wow. Mike Schmidt with the game-winning home run, 0-1 count. That ball is going to be a little bit too high. 1-1 count, sorry. Tie on the 1-1. That ball is going to be hit into right field, straight to Evan Russ. Matt Drozlik points as he will make the catch for the second out of the half inning. Ty keeping the pitch count low, and he's playing a conservative ball game, and he's playing great. Cannon Vandiver up to bat. 0 for 1 with a strikeout on the day. First pitch. That ball is going to be fouled off. 0-1 count. Tie on the 0-1 pitch. That ball is going to be hit into right field, going straight to Evan Russ yet again, and he will make the catch again. Westfield continuing their great defensive performance, still up 3-0. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Still back. And we are back, and bottom of the fifth, Westfield up 3-0. And to continue on this day in baseball history, in 1973, Bobby Valentine of the Angels, he tried to prevent a Dick Green home run, but he ended up catching the spikes on the wall and he broke his leg. It ended up ruining his entire career. But what makes Bobby Valentine so famous is when he became a manager of the New York Mets back in 1999, and he was ejected from the game after complaining about a strike call, I believe. Then he came back in the dugout later that game with a fake mustache, a disguise. He thought nobody would know, but obviously they caught on. The broadcast crew caught it pretty quickly, and it resulted in a 2-game suspension. I mean, Bobby Valentine, that took guts, man. A fake mustache to disguise yourself in the dugout. And for the final on this day in baseball history, in 1998, David Wells of the Yankees pitched the 13th perfect game in MLB history as the Yankees would win that game 4-0 over the Twins. Wells would go on to set an AL record that night by retiring 37 batters in a row. Wow. And Matt Drozlik up to bat. Carter Beck's still out there. I remember bringing it up about Carter Beck, whether he would be out here for the 5th inning, but still he is out here with Matt Drozlik. First pitch. That ball is going to be hit into right field. And the catch will be made for the first out of the inning for Westfield. That was Cade Tislow. Now Evan Russ is up to bat. 1 for 2 on the day. That ball's had great movement on that, and that is going to land in for a strike. 0-1 count with 1 out, nobody on base. Incredible movement on that pitch. Probably the second time I said that all day. And that ball is going to be hit into foul territory. Tislow will make the catch in foul territory. Great hustle play for the second out of the inning. Nick Alm, the DH, is now up to bat. Carter Beck having a bounce-back inning after giving up 2 earned runs in the 4th inning. Nick Alm did have an RBI in the last game, Monday night against Kokomo. First pitch off speed. It looked like it was in the zone, but they're not going to call it a strike, actually, so 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. That ball is going to land in for a strike, 1-1 count. Look, I don't mean to be that guy when it comes to complaining about the umpire, but how do you call that a strike and you don't call the last pitch a strike? I don't get it, but still, 1-1 pitch. Did he check his swing? No, he didn't. 2-1 count. They're saying he did not. 2-1 count. Two-one count, 2 outs, nobody on base. Beck on the 2-1. That one is fouled off. Sheesh. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that actually did hit Alm. And Alm is going to take a walk to first base. It didn't look like it hit him, but apparently it did, so he will take a walk to first base. It did not faze him at all. Tyler Gentry up to bat. Gentry 1 for 1 on the day, and he was hit by a pitch as well. That ball is going to be grounded to third base, and an error is made by Avon. And he's going to be out at first base. What a quick, bounce back for Avon. That was Cannon Vandiver making the play at third base. He made an error, but still was able to make an on-target, precise throw to first base. And Westfield up 3-0 going into the top of the 6th inning. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, top of the 6th inning. Ty Anderson having quite the day so far. And Avon, let's go back to the last play before the end of the inning. Vandiver making quite the play despite dropping the ball at first, able to pick it up quickly and make the out at first base. You got to respect the hustle. Now hitting for Avon is Jerry Baltiara. Baltiara is 1 for 1 on the day with the only pitch that he saw.
Leading off the 6th inning for the Avon Orioles, number 24, Jerry Baltiera.
Batting .303 on the season, the senior Baltiara. That ball is going to be hit well. In the same spot he got a hit in 2 pitches he's seen, 2 hits, and he's going to make his way to second base for a double. Baltiara, he has been the Achilles heel for Ty Anderson today, and he will be taken out on the base paths, of course, for yet again, Trey Thompson. And Avon, 9-1 on the season when they hit 2 or more doubles. They've only hit 1 today, luckily. Thompson with a heavy lead off a second. Pickoff attempt. And that's out of the glove of Hibbler. And Thompson is going to take off for third base. That turned absolutely disastrous because it looked like Ty actually had them on the pickoff attempt, but Hibbler dropped the ball. And Thompson making his way to third base. And that ball is going to be fouled off. Back to the top of the order, Nate Simpson, 0 for 2 with a strikeout on the day. 0-1 count, nobody out. Trey Thompson on third. That ball is going to be outside, 1-1 count. Tie on the 1-1. That ball is going to be in for a strike, 1-2 count. That ball is going to be outside, 2-2 count. And Trey Thompson, despite not being in the lineup tonight, he is one of 8 Avon batters batting above 300. No matter, I'm not even like taking into account the sample size of it. They have 8 guys batting above 300. Thompson on third, 2-2 count, nobody out. That ball is going to be fair. Is it foul? They're going to call it foul. Barely rolled off foul. So 2-2 count, nobody out still. And now a discussion with the umpire and with the manager, Troy Droshi, who is obviously very unhappy. And why do you argue that call? That was clearly foul, but I get it. 2-2 count. It's baseball. I get it. That should be made into a t-shirt, by the way. It's baseball. I get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Trey Thompson on third base. 2-2 pitch. That one is going to be hammered off and fouled. Still a 2-2 count. Tie on the 2-2. That ball is going to be outside. 3-2 even count with nobody out. Tie not having the best start to the 6th inning, but still plenty of time to shake it off. Tie on the 3-2. That one is going to be outside and a walk. Miguel Correa Jr. back up to bat, 0-2 on the day. Trey Thompson on third, and Nate Simpson on first. And now a mound visit between the entire infield and Ty Anderson. Bunnell is going to come out too. I can't imagine they're taking the ball from him. Now I think is a perfect time to bring up the upcoming broadcast tomorrow. Softball against McCutcheon, 6 o'clock. And that will be my final game doing play-by-play this season. Of course, I will be back next year. And then the 2 seniors, Evan Cummings and Aiden McNally, will have you covered for the Saturday noon game against Jeffersonville and the Tuesday 6 o'clock game at against Roncalli. Correa Jr. 0-2 on the day. And after a quick mound visit, Ty is still in the game, as expected. Why would they take him out? Ty on the first pitch. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did. 0-1 count. Ty on the 0-1 pitch. That ball is going to be right down the middle, strike 2. Whatever Bunnell or Colin was telling Ty in the mound visit seems to be working because he's finding his stride. 2 straight strikes. 0-2 pitch. A little bit too high. By a little bit too high, I mean a lot too high. 1-2 count. That was not correct. I guess what's the word for it? I guess my English was not correct there. That ball is going to be hit in the center field, shallow center field, and it will be caught by Hibbler for the first out of the inning. Griffin Shable 0 for 2 on the day so far, with a runner on first and a runner on third with one out. Ty looking to escape the jam. He will try and bunt. And Lindsay is going to make the catch off of the bunt in fair territory. Now 2 outs, and Ty Anderson 1 out away from escaping the jam, with Austin Bell, the second baseman, who is 1 for 1 with a walk on the day, up to bat. First pitch, that one right down the middle for Ty, 0-1 count. Now 2 strikes away from ending the jam. Ty on the 0-1. And Simpson, he took off running, but luckily fouled off. 0-2 count. And definitely with 2 outs, a very risky move to steal second. And Simpson with 7 stolen bases on the season so far. 0-2 pitch. That ball is going to be grounded to Gentry, and he will make an error. And just like that, the complete game shutout is obviously not a thing anymore. Trey Thompson will make it home, and now a 3-1 ball game. Ty Anderson, the first earned run he has given up since 3 games ago. Dylan Hommel 0 for 2 on the day, with a runner on second and a runner on first with 2 outs. First pitch, that ball is going to be a strike, 0-1 count. Ty on the 0-1. That ball is going to be a little bit too high. 1-1 count. I mean, very unfortunate. Ty was gaining momentum. It looked like he was going to escape the jam, but then Ty Gentry with an error, which allowed a run to score. 1-1 pitch, and he's going to call time. Luckily he did, because that pitch was way in the dirt. One ball, one strike. That ball is going to be fouled off. 1-2 count. One-two pitch. That ball is going to be fouled off again. Still a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Ty on the 1-2 pitch. That one is going to get him. Ty Anderson, you are ridiculous. Bottom of the 6th inning, Westfield up 3-1. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, bottom of the 6th inning. Westfield looking to hang on, and we have a pitching change. Josh Heitert coming in for Avon. Heitert on the season, he has been one of the best pitchers for Avon, one of 3 Avon pitchers with a sub-2 ERA. Heitert on the season with a 1.17 ERA, so definitely a guy to count on, the senior Heitert. In conference play, a sub-1 ERA in 4 appearances by Heitert. I mean, he has been great. A .72 ERA in conference play. I mean, he could have been the starting pitcher possibly, but they're going to have him in relief, which that means that is going to be the end of the day for Carter Beck, who I will give him credit where credit is due. He had a pretty solid last couple of innings. His final line, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a hit by pitch, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Now up to bat, Ian Wilson. Ian Wilson on the game so far, 1 for 2. Heitert, first pitch right down the middle, 0-1 count. Already a great start for Josh Heitert. A swing and a miss, 0-2 count. Got him low and away, 0-2 count. Heitert on the 0-2, a swing and a miss yet again. And so far, I mean, I'm totally doing this to jinx him. He has an immaculate inning going, so I'm totally bringing that up to jinx him. Caden Lindsay today has not been his day. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That ball is going to be a little bit high, 1-0 count, and that puts an end to the immaculate inning. So, hey, commentator's curse paid off this time. 1-0 count, 1 out, nobody on base. That ball is going to be in the zone, strike 1, 1-1 count. Heitert, 1-1 pitch. They're going to give that to him, 1-2 count. One-two pitch. That ball is going to be in the dirt. Wild pitch. Luckily for Avon, nobody on base, so it will be a 2-2 count. Heitert on the 2-2 pitch. That one is yet again off of the glove of Baltiara. So a 3-2 count with 1 out. This is a big confidence, possible confidence boosting pitch for Caden Lindsay on the 3-2 pitch. And Lindsay is going to take a walk to first base. Back to the top of the order, Braden Hibbler. Lindsay is going to take off the second base as a bunt will be fouled off by Hibbler. As you saw, Baltiara, he tried to make a catch, but he could not make the catch in foul territory, so an 0-1 count. But Caden Lindsay was ready to take off running, and he did take off running. Caden Lindsay with 5 stolen bases on the year. And I've mentioned it time and time again. I love that Colin Lindsay and Caden Lindsay, only if it was for only 1 year to play together. I think it's a great thing. And that ball is going to be a strike 0-2 count. I mean, Colin Lindsay, he's been one of the, fixtures of Westfield baseball throughout the past couple of years. High turt on the 0-2 pitch, and that is going to hit Hibbler on the shoulder, and Lindsay is going to get to second base, and Hibbler will walk to first base. But to continue on what I was saying, I mean, Westfield, they're in great hands with the next generation led by Caden Lindsay and Matt Droslick as Eli Manbeck is up to bat. I mean, we've seen this generation of Jacob Culp, Colin Lindsay, and then, of course, a current minor leaguer for the Toronto Blue Jays, Gage Stanfer, have really led this generation for Westfield. Now it's time for a new generation. A swing and a miss by Manbeck. 0-1 count. High tart on the 0-1 pitch. On the outside edge, they will not give it to him. 1-1 count. Definitely a debatable call, but it works out in Westfield's favor. Eli Manbeck. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A runner on second and a runner on first. Westfield looking to possibly put the game on ice going into the 7th inning. 1-1 pitch. Manbeck is going to make contact straight to the shortstop. And the out will not be recorded at first base. It looked like a potential double play, but no. Manbeck is going to make it to first base as Caden Lindsay will make it to third. So Colin Lindsay up to bat. He is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And yet again, Jiroshi is going to be yelling in the umpire's face. I mean, the umpire is basically just telling him to back off. And I think it's one of the most iconic things in sports. It's more well known in football as the hold me back guy. Usually a team will hire, but there will be somebody on the team for whenever the coach is in a heated debate with the refs, where somebody will come over to hold the coach back. And I think Avon, they need a hold me back guy. Colin is 1 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts, looking to drive in his younger brother, Caden. Two outs, runner on third and a runner on first. High turt. That ball is going to land in for a strike, 0-1 count with 2 outs. And Manbeck is going to take off to second base. Will he make it there? Yes, he will. And Caden Lindsay will be safe at third, as I really don't get that decision, as Pennington tried to throw to third base. But Manbeck will make it to second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position with Colin Lindsay at bat. 0-1 count, 2 outs. Hightart, 0-1 pitch. That one is going to have great movement on it and will be in the zone. 0-2 count, 2 outs. Hightart 1 strike away from escaping the jam. And by the way, Westfield, they have stolen 4 or more bags in this game. That ball is going to be outside, 0-2 count. They have stolen 5, by the way. And they are 7-0. They are undefeated when they steal 4 or more bags. I mean, does this guarantee a Westfield win? Maybe. 1-2 count with 2 outs. Hightart, 1-2 pitch. That ball is going to be hit shallow right field, and it will be caught to end the inning. Going into the 7th inning, it's crunch time, 2-run ball game. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, top of the 7th inning. Westfield looking to finish what they started. Ty Anderson back out there on the mound. Unfortunately, will not be going for a complete game shutout, but still will be going for a complete game, which would be his 3rd in a row, by the way. And my score prediction was 4-1 Westfield. Keep that in mind. 3-1 score right now. Unfortunately, it's very unlikely, actually impossible that would happen, because Westfield would need to hit again, and it looks like if Westfield is able to hold off 2 runs, then they will not be hitting in the bottom of the 7th, and the game will end with 3 outs here. Wyatt Pennington, 0-for-2 on the day, the first baseman. I am still yet to get an exact score prediction on the season. Ty on the first pitch. Pennington, that ball is going to be hit in the left field, and it will be caught. Now 1 batter away, as this game is almost over. 2 strikes away with Cade Tislow, the right fielder, up to bat. And we've seen throughout the season, Ty Anderson, they've had him at second base throughout the year, but in the past 5 games, we haven't seen him hitting in the order at all. First pitch, that is a swing and a miss, 0-1 count. But I think they're transforming Ty into just being all pitching. Off speed right down the middle, got him looking, 0-2 count. Ty on the 0-2 pitch, a little bit too high, 1-2 count. Ty on the 1-2 pitch, a little bit outside yet again, 2-2 count. Ty on the 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be hit to Ian Wilson. The throw to first is in time. Now Ty Anderson is 1 out away from ending this ball game. Cannon Vandiver, the third baseman, up to bat. Anderson on the first pitch, and that is going to hit Vandiver right on the back. The second hit by pitch by Ty Anderson today. Now back to Ty's Achilles heel, batting ninth, Jerry Baltiara, 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single. And Bennell is going to have a mound visit with Ty. I mean, surely they're not going to take him out. Nobody in the bullpen. I think it's basically just a mindset of, let's finish this thing. Baltiara having quite the game today, like I've mentioned before. Two outs, a runner on first. That pitch is going to be in the dirt, 1-0 count. One 0 count, runner on first. 1-0 pitch. That ball is going to be hit in the center field, and Baltiara 3 for 3 on the day with a single. Now back to the top of the order, Nate Simpson, who was 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. A runner on second and a runner on first. And of course, Trey Thompson coming into pinch run, the common. Yep, the common substitution for Avon. First pitch, that ball is going to be outside ever so slightly, 1-0 count. Time will be called. One 0 pitch. That ball is going to be hit to Ian Wilson. He will make the grab to throw to first. Is not in time. An error is made, actually. And a run will score for Avon. Are you kidding me? Now a one-run ball game. This is crunch time now. A runner on second and a runner on third. 2 outs. I mean, this is why baseball is such an incredible sport. I mean, this is a crucial situation. And Westfield, they have made 4 errors on the day. I mean, there have been plenty of times where there's been an earned run, and you really can't blame Ty Anderson for it. First pitch, did he swing? It looked like he fouled it off, so 0-1 count. Ty Anderson 2 strikes away from ending the jam. 0-1 pitch. That one a little bit too high. 1-1 count. One pitch. That ball is going to be fouled off. 1-2 count. Everybody on their feet for the 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. That ball is going to be fouled off right towards me. So 1-2 count, 2 outs, a runner on second and a runner on third. Ty Anderson, 1-2 pitch. That one is going to be outside, 2-2 count. Great effort by Colin Lindsay, too, to block that ball, make the grab, and prevent a wild pitch and prevent another run being brought in. Here's Ty to close this thing out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ty on the 2-2. That ball is going to be grounded straight to Ty, but it will be Gentry. Gentry throw to first. Is in time, and that is going to end the ball game. Westfield will escape with a 3-2 win over the Avon Orioles. And talk about a much-needed win for Westfield. I mean, a huge conference win. Game 2 against Avon will be tomorrow. Ty Anderson with a 3rd straight shutout. And overall, the offense had the run support for Ty's performance. And this will be my last baseball game of the season. I will be back with you next season. And there will be a softball game I will be commentating tomorrow night against McCutcheon, 6 o'clock p.m. I would like to thank you, the viewer, for watching, first off, because without you, there is no show. I would like to thank our producer, Alan, who's been incredible all season. You can follow him on Instagram, producer.Allen. It's spelled A-L-A-N. We'll be back at you tomorrow night with softball against McCutcheon. A much-needed Westfield win. I'm Rowan Elbert. Good night, Westfield.